Properties. Tokens usually have a common name, a symbol or unique identifier, quantity, and an owner. These values belong to the token class, where instances of the token will have these same values. There are two types of properties, behavioral and non-behavioral. Non-behavioral properties can be added to a token without affecting, well, its behavior, like a serial number, a SKU, or generic tag. Behavioral properties, on the other hand, differentiate token types from each other. For example, you can create a property title token that uses a base non-fungible token and adds non-behavioral properties like a map number, plot location, etc. And it can be a fully functional token. You can then repeat this process for an art token that uses the same base non-fungible token and adds non-behavioral properties needed to represent it. These tokens have the same behaviors but represent completely different assets by having different non-behavioral properties or even values of those properties. Side note, definition. A token template is a set of technical artifacts, code, configuration, etc., that a token class is created from. Property title tokens in the example above are created from a single template, which is a non-fungible token with non-behavioral properties like map number, etc. You use this template to create a token for each property needing a title over and over and over again. Technically, this same template can also be used, perhaps with slight modification, for art. Art and land have the same behaviors, but have different non-behavioral properties. So tokens start out as either fungible or non-fungible with a common set of base properties, and then diverge from each other based on their behaviors. Behaviors. Behaviors are capabilities or restrictions and can be common across fungible and non-fungible types, or only apply to one of them. Behaviors have supporting properties, which are incorporated in the token schema and definition. Behaviors are very business specific and usually have existing non-blockchain implementations, which are well understood. Some common behaviors are transferable. The ability to transfer ownership of the token. Basic fungible behavior when using cash money, but also can apply to non-fungible tokens. Non-transferable is a restriction, preventing you from changing the ownership. A vote token for an election or an airline ticket are examples of this. SUB-DIVIDABLE. These are essentially the decimal places a token could be subdivided into. For example, $1 supports 2 decimal places. A 0 decimal would prevent subdivision or the ability to own a fraction of the token. These are referred to as whole tokens. Mintable. The ability to issue new tokens of the class, creating money or a barrel of oil to add to the overall supply of the class. Burnable, the ability to remove tokens from the supply. A token representing a barrel of oil that could be burned when it's refined is a good example. Role support. This is the ability to have roles defined within the class that can either have new permissions or not have permissions to do something. Financeable or encumbered. The ability to have another token or contract prevent the transfer of ownership or burning until the encumbering is removed. For example, an outstanding loan on a property that is encumbered will require that the loan be paid off before the ownership of the property can be transferred. Expirational. The token loses its value based on an event or date. A ticket to the theater is only good for that date of the play. It is not valid for the next day's show. Suspendable. A token can be restricted for redemption, transfer, or use based on some event. A token that represents credit, for example, could be suspended until some issue with the credit is resolved. Extensions or add-ons like optional properties on a token, like a VIP backstage pass that's added to a token. There are many more of these. In fact, There's a token taxonomy effort underway right now, which we'll cover later in the series.